Hey, what's happening, wrestling world? I'm sad to report that Leon White, aka Big Van Vader, or Vader, as you want to call for short, has passed away. It was reported by his son on Twitter that his father, Leon White, Vader, had transitioned to another world on Monday night at 7:25 p.m. and he was 63 years old. Now, prior to this, Vader was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, or heart disease as you want to call it. And this was reported I think about a year or two ago, I believe. And his doctor told him that he had up to 6 years left to live due to his condition. And so apparently he transitioned sooner than expected. So looking back at Vader's career, I mean, he was a professional football player for the NFL. He played with the Los Angeles Rams, and then after his playing career, he was an All-American in college, I believe. And after his football gridiron days were done, he transitioned to pro wrestling, which he had huge success. He had success in Japan as a heel wrestler. I remember that infamous battle that he had with Stan Henson. I mean, that was a very, very, very gruesome battle. I think in that match, I think there was one shoot where his eyeball nearly popped out during the match, and he had to place it back in. He put it back in place during the middle of the match. I'm like, whoa, geez, and I seen that too. That was a very horrendous spot, but Vader corrected it very quickly. I mean, that's toughness right there. He was able to do that, you know. Went into WCW, great success, had a monstrous push as a heel, was a multi-world champion. He had his battles with Sting, Ron Simmons, aka Farouk, in the WWE, as you want to call him. Had his battles with Rick Rude, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, you name it. He had battles with everyone. Cactus Jack, aka Mick Foley. So the man had a very, very good career, and as a professional, pretty decent career as a football player, and had a very great pro wrestling career. The one thing people would say about Vader is that he did kind of rub people off the wrong way, particularly backstage with his infamous fight with Arn Anderson. And of course, obviously, Arn Anderson was not really. I mean, he was respected, but of course, some people did have some issues with Arn Anderson. Not only Vader, of course, his issues with that knife incident, which was, very, very infamous. He was also known to be a dangerous worker to some people. Some people felt he was a bit careless in the ring, particularly one spot where he threw a vicious power bomb on a jobber in a tag match, I believe. And I mean, it would look pretty awkward that he even broke the jobber's back. I forgot the guy's name, but if you type it in the Google search box, you'll see that spot when he executed the power bomb. Vader knew that something was up with the guy, the way he was twitching after the power bomb, and Vader stood there after the bell, didn't even raise his hand. He actually was whispering to the guy and asked him if he was all right, I believe. Because you could tell from that spot he was very concerned about the guy after he delivered that power bomb, and he broke his back legitimately. So again, I forgot the jobber's name. Just type it into Twitter, look it up. But of course, this WWE, when he transitioned from '94, I think he came into WWE in '95, late '95, I believe. It was a spot where he debuted and he caused havoc in the ring, and he even attacked Gorilla Monsoon, who was the then on-screen president at the time, preceding Jack Tunney and whatnot. But he had a monstrous push in WWE as a heel. He had his battles with The Undertaker. He had his battles with Yokozuna, whatnot. Had some, small feuds with Bret Hart, Jake Roberts, Razor Ramon. But needless to say, though, he had a very monstrous push, and he was positioned to win the WWF title. Well, then WWF title again against Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Of course, Shawn Michaels threw a fucking hissy fit, like like the diva that he was back then, the child that he was, which derailed Vader's push by going to backstage and complaining to management that he's a dangerous worker. And like I said, it's not the first complaint. Some people said he was, but that was Shawn Michaels doing. As I was saying, this is Shawn Michaels doing his the usual political maneuvering to get things what he wants out of certain guys during that time, you know. So it is what it is. You know, going back to this congestive heart failure thing, according to the report, some said this is more tribute to his athletic and wrestling days, taking the bumps that he took in the ring. You know, Vader, I think it was more than that in my opinion, because I think Vader was pretty obese. Let's be real. Yes, he did have some broad shoulders. He did have some muscular shoulders, and he was quite athletic for a very, very big and obese guy in a way. You know, very athletic. But the fact is that you can't dismiss the fact that he was pretty obese, and I'm not saying he didn't have any conditioning or endurance, but definitely he wasn't quite healthy. You know, not eating properly, you didn't have a proper diet for the most part of your life. That all contributes to, you know, health problems, lingering health problems down the road. And I think it was more to the fact that he just wasn't quite healthy. He was not a healthy individual. Let's be realistic. Now, could have his athletic and wrestling days attribute to his congestive heart failure? Yeah, but I'm not saying that's the sole reason. I don't buy that. I think it's more to the fact that he wasn't really quite healthy as far as his diet and his, you know, and him being, you know, physically fit. So, yeah. But anyways, you know, the wrestling world just lost a great legend. Very respected, even though some people did say he was dangerous to work with in the ring, but he was still a very respected dude. You could get along with the guy backstage. So for the most part, even though there was a couple one-offs there, so needless to say, oh yeah, I forgot to mention his infamous fight with Paul Orndorff backstage, when Paul Orndorff had he got into it with Paul Orndorff. So yeah, but actually, you know what? Did he actually, just now to think about it, did he actually get into it with Arn Anderson? I know Sid Vicious did, but did Vader get into it with Arn Anderson? I have to go back and check. I could be wrong about that, but please let me know in the comment section that he ever had an incident running with Arn Anderson. I know it was Paul Orndorff, but it is what it is. But needless to say, rest in peace to Leon White, aka Vader. You'll be missed. I'm out.